everyone, it is Esther here and welcome back to my channel. I've decided that I'm going to stop apologizing for not uploading much because let's just be honest here, life is unpredictable, life is busy, life is full of depression and homework and studying and crying. So yeah, I would say I'm sorry for not uploading frequently, but you know what? I not many people watch my videos anyway, so does it really matter? So today I'm going to be talking about I Spit on Your Grave. I don't know why I sound so happy about it because this movie is fucking grim as fuck. So let's just get started with it, dudes. I Spit on Your Grave is a torture porn style horror film released in 2010. It's a remake of the original 70s film, which I haven't actually seen yet. And overall, I think the 2010 edition is a very well made film. However, the graphic content and lack of mercy this film possesses brings up a vital argument. Is I Spit on Your Grave a film about revenge, or is it exploitative of female sexual assault? The cover of the film tells you a lot about the content. It's an image of a woman from behind, very voyeuristic. Although the weapon she's holding suggests power, I can't help but feel weird about looking directly at her ass. Now, of course, this is probably symbolic of how the awful men in this film view her, as nothing but an object for their sexual desires. And of course, nudity doesn't always mean something sexual. I mean, everyone has a body and everyone can express it however they want. It's just, I feel a bit weird about looking directly at her butt, before I even see the film. I feel as if it makes her character feel more exploited, as this is the first image we see of her. Now into the content of the film itself. If you didn't already know, it's about a woman named Jennifer Hills who goes to live in a cabin in the woods for a few months to finish her novel. The men inhabiting this small town, however, have other plans for her stay there. They break into her house, rape her multiple times, degrade and humiliate her, and leave her for dead. Many have argued that this film could do without showing the rape scenes so graphically. After all, it is incredibly traumatic for this woman, and some audience members may feel intrusive or disgusted after watching it. I read a few reviews that said people who love this movie for the revenge aspect have to skip past the rape scenes every time. Others recommend you watch this film only once for the satisfaction of justice, and never again so you don't have to relive the horror of it all. However, some may argue that without the rape scene being extreme, the film may lose its power. For example, many people watching this film have never experienced sexual assault before, specifically men, as it's statistically more likely for it to happen to women. So they may need this scene to be horrific in order to understand further how awful rape is. Now, of course, everyone knows rape is horrible, but if you haven't experienced it yourself, you couldn't possibly imagine the extent of how awful it is. So with that in mind, this film needs to be graphic and horrifying in order for the revenge to be more impactful. Some brush off this film as just another trashy torture porn film, much like Saw, Hostel, a Serbian film, or The Human Centipede. The films listed are all about horrific things happening to people who I'm assuming don't deserve it. I don't want to watch them to find out because I cannot handle torture in films very well, so please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But what I mean is, a film about a mentally deranged person or group of people torturing others for their own pleasure is very different from a film about a woman torturing men for the disgusting things they did to her. The difference? The rapists deserve everything that Jennifer does to them. So with something like Saw, you feel sickened by the awful shit happening to people, but you feel a sense of justice while watching I Spit on Your Grave. You want these filthy, atrocious creatures to feel the same pain they mercilessly inflicted on Jennifer. And that's why audiences still come back to watch this film. Sarah Butler does an amazing job at portraying a woman who has suffered so horribly that the only option is revenge. She sets up her torture devices to make them suffer in the same way that she did. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm about to get into some graphic content, so if you guys haven't seen this film, please stop watching, stop listening, or similarly, if you don't like hearing about disgusting things, stop watching right now because I'm gonna basically say it how it is every single torture death scene that happens in this film. So you have been warned. The man who recorded the entirety of the rape gets his eyes held open with fishing wire and fish guts smeared into them, which attracts the attention of birds who start to devour him. The man who told her to "suck it, bitch" gets his face burned off with acid while Jennifer repeats the same words he said to her. The man who raped her orally gets his teeth pulled out, mouth mangled, and his own bloody penis shoved down his throat. And the sheriff, who miserably failed his duty, gets killed by a gunshot through his ass and out his mouth. The creativity of the people behind this film is astounding. They not only managed to come up with such sickening concepts, they also made them mirror the awful shit that happened to Jennifer. It's a film I never expected to enjoy so much, while also being in pain from the atrocities. I physically had to look away and stop watching for a little bit when it got to the scene with the man having his eyes pulled open. I Spit on Your Grave is a modern masterpiece of cinema, and although some may sneer at it for being trashy, too disgusting, or too merciless, I praise it for being so ruthless in its insane torture. So, in conclusion, I would say be careful when contemplating to watch these films. Please consider that although the subject matter is dark, the characters' actions horrific, it is also a film about a woman who gets her revenge in the best way she can, by serving it up in a very similar way to how she was treated. I'm still yet to see any other titles in the franchise, however I think I'll leave a gap between each of them as I have a very low tolerance for torture in films. I hope you enjoyed this little look into the darkness of a torture porn classic, and I hope you don't think I'm weird for liking it either. Tell me below what your favourite film in the series is, and what do you think of the concept as a whole. This has been Esther. I'm signing out. Goodbye. See you guys, hopefully, next Friday.